I still wanted to be a realtor
Yeah.
because of the TV shows, because like so glamorous.
They'll go to these events and then they'll literally it'll go one ear and out the other and they'll forget about it and they'll act like it never happened. Yeah.
So my first mailer was out, 1,300 letters. I got like 80 phone calls.
I literally didn't even know there's this many pieces of land that are for sale that you can even 5,000 to 7,000. That's
2.5 weeks later, I closed the deal and I made $21,000.
biggest challenge in the land flipping business that you're having right now.
Big challenge is there's too many areas for one person to do.
And you don't need any licensing for this, huh? Or do
No,
you?
no license at all.
A land coach is what he calls himself, but also he's a realtor. He's in the real estate business. We're going to learn a ton about land today. Luis, thank you and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Andrew. Thanks for having me. Very excited to be here.
I'm in the real estate and the real estate of mine.
Hey guys, welcome back. We got episode number 19 for y'all today. I got a subject that I haven't had this kind of topic on the podcast yet. I got a really, really cool guest, an expert in the space. Today, guys, we got Luis Melo. He's a land coach is what he calls himself, but also he's a realtor. He's in the real estate business. We're going to learn a ton about land today, and I can't wait. Luis, thank you, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Andrew. Thanks for having me. Very excited to be here. I see your podcast. You're doing great. Office, guys, amazing. If you're in Santa Ana, just stop by, talk to this guy. And
Thank you,
if you
man.
need a mortgage, let's talk to him.
Thank you, man. Thanks, Luis.
I'm
Appreciate
excited.
that. Yeah. So, Luis, in the beginning of the podcast, I like to tell the guests a little bit about you, kind of where you came from, so then they can understand, when they understand your struggles, they'll understand your success as well. And I know that, like we just talked about, you're an immigrant. You came to this country, and you obviously you grinded your way to where you are now. But tell us a little bit about your background. Tell us where you came from, and let's start right there.
Sure, yeah. Came from Brazil. I've been here for 7.5 years. Beginning was a struggle. I didn't have my papers. I work as a valet. Farmer's market. Would wake up at 5 a.m., help taking the produce out of the truck to put it on the stand for sale. My English was very poor. I did a bunch of classes, ESL, English as a second language. First time trying to get a real job in here, the person was like, all right, try to get on the phone with a customer. I froze. I could not
What business
talk.
was this?
I was recruiting. Was Apple recruiting. Like you would call businesses to see if they needed employees, and then you would help them find employees.
Apple's a big recruiting company.
Big one. I went there. I talked to them. They liked me. I was like, they didn't want to give me the job. I was like, hey, give me one day, one opportunity to do this job. But they said, come back tomorrow. They kind of trained me, but by the time I had to be on the phone, I couldn't do it because I wasn't. I just wasn't aware of how to talk on the phone, and I didn't have enough experience.
Wow, so you only came here 7.5 years ago.
7.5
That
years
hasn't even
ago.
been that long. What's 7.5? You're talking about 2015, 16?
15 or 16 maybe. July 1st, 2016, yes.
And so, like you're saying, you didn't even have your papers, so you couldn't work legally.
Yeah, I was just a tourist
Just
for
a
the
tourist?
first 6 months, yeah.
And then you just went through the process, and you ended up getting, obviously, your papers, and
Yes.
you're able to work legally.
Yeah.
First, that's even by itself is super difficult, but I kind of know, but why did you, what was going on in Brazil, and why did you come to America, and why did you choose America, and why did you choose Southern California?
Actually, it's because of my wife. She was my girlfriend at the time, and I was living in Mexico, where Sergio is from, our cameraman, nice, cool guy. And then she was like, we were going back and forth, and she's like, do you want to move to the U.S.? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I had my visa before, prior to that, and then we just decided for me to stay, and I'm here. I started traveling outside Brazil for a long time, and the opportunities are here. Of course, at the beginning, it was a big struggle.
Yeah.
I did work as a server for another 2 years, till I broke off in the real estate industry. But even as a server, I would make good money. So it allowed me to do my land investing, to pay for my stamps, to pay for my software, to expand my business in the beginning.
Yeah, no, that's a great little story right there. So, let's start getting into the meat of this conversation. Basically, how did you basically, first of all, how did you get into real estate? Because you're, like you said, you're an immigrant. You come to this country. Like, why real estate? Why did you choose even just to get, let's start right there.
So I had a friend back in Santa Monica. I used to live there, and he was talking to me about real estate. And I asked him, what is that? I had no idea what was it. And he was explaining to me a lot of millionaires come from real estate, and if you want to make money, and I always wanted to make money in my life. I just didn't know how. Like, no idea. You know, I tried to be an actor in Los Angeles and all these things, but did not work because of competition. So he introduced me to real estate, and I was like, I talked to my wife. She's like, it's a very nice thing to do. And what should I do? I went to the route of being a realtor, right?
Yeah.
I studied it for like 6 or 7 months, took my exam, passed easily because I did a crash course. And just going through, I was like on internet and it's like looking for events in real estate, Andrew. And I found Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh, yeah?
And he did a 3-day event, and then he would charge you $1,000 for another 3 days, and then the kick.
Yeah.
He charged you another $18,000.
Oh, there it is right there. Okay.
So much money, guys. So I did. There was so many people in there, and they would like give you these ideas of like how to make money in real estate, and it was new, and I was like, man, I can make this work. So I paid. They teach you how to get those credit card free interest rate.
You paid the $18,000?
I paid.
Where did you get $18,000?
I got. They teach you guys how to do this. Personal loans, or you just get a credit card free interest rate for the first 12 or 18 months.
Okay.
So I got that. Yeah. My credit was enough. So I paid them on the credit card, and then I started paying monthly. In the meantime, they teach you about foreclosure, for sale by owners. I was trying to be a realtor. I was working as a server. And this guy inside the event of Robert Kiyosaki, he told me, hey, this land investing, I'm flipping vacant lots. I'm like, what is that? And I'm wholesaling vacant lots, super easy. And there's another guy that's teaching you, teaches people another $1,500, another course.
Oh, no.
I was like, dude, I can't invest another $1,500. I just spent like $18,000, $19,000 in this.
Yeah.
I started going to events in Los Angeles. Like every Wednesday, we would meet at Sizzler with old investors, like elderly people that have been investing for a long time. I would be going like every Wednesday, religiously. And one guy from the land space was coming to LA to teach people. Mm-hmm. And these people, they're like, these old investors, hey, you should go, you should join because you're a hustler, you can make it happen, And I just did. I paid another $1,500 to learn about the land business.
You're really, you're really paying to play. But basically, back to the 18 grand. First of all, man, 18 grand is a ton of money. Yeah. A lot of people would have never done that. What gave you honestly, I wouldn't do it. So it's just a ton of money for me to pay to learn. This wasn't even that long ago. When was this?
No, 6 years ago. 5.5. Yeah,
this is still the internet. YouTube is still everywhere at 6 years ago. So I don't know, what gave you the notion that this was the right thing to do? Because 18 grand is obviously I don't know how much you were making, but it sounds like you were a server. No. You were doing basic jobs.
Yeah, I was doing maybe $3,000 a month.
Yeah, so 18. You're talking about 6 months of just the pay without expenses, without taxes. What gave you that? Why did you do it? Basically, what gave you that?
The ideas that they share in these events are out of the box. For real. There's so many things that you can do. And, of course, they get you in that little bubble that it will work if you do the work. So I guess as a new guy, not knowing enough, I just did it. But looking back, I'm glad that I did because I got a lot of information. That helped me to be where I am. Mm-hmm. We all have to pay to play. Yeah. And I understand about these people trying to make money. And I'm just happy. I didn't even think about it because of the things that they were teaching you in this course. I'm like, dude, if I implement that to my business, or if I start doing that, I can make money. Right. $18,000 is one contract away, right? It's one property.
Yeah. And obviously, Robert Kiyosaki, he's huge. He's a big mentor to a lot of people. Actually, I read his book. It was the first real estate book that I read. Obviously, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And then obviously he did the Cash Flow Quadrant book, which I really like too. But Yeah. So
Same thing here, actually, because I was in Hawaii and I bought his book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm like, whoa, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's how I found him to do the courses. But yeah, it's just like, there's a way of making money in real estate. They get you hyped
Yeah.
and they charge you.
So 18 grand, man. Was it worth it? Tell the people, was it worth it? The 18,000?
Well, it was worth it, yes. I think it was, yes.
That's nice.
Absolutely.
That's actually, that's really good to hear because I heard stories of the opposite way. Oh, they ripped me off. They didn't give me enough information. I felt like I got nothing out of it. But you're also a doer. You seem like a guy that because a lot of guys go to these events, and I know them personally. They'll go to these events and then they'll literally it'll go one ear and out the other, and they'll forget about it and they'll act like it never happened, or just they won't act on the principles that they're being taught in these events. And you don't seem like that kind of guy. Obviously, you're not that kind of guy. You literally took all that information and you put it into your business. So you met a guy at this event that was flipping land, and again, something I've really never heard of. You're like flipping land, and he's making money, and sounds like a great life. And kind of get into that a little bit. How did that go a little bit?
Yeah, no, so he was flipping land. He gave me his contact information. I still am friends with that guy. And, I just didn't want to do it at the time because I was like, hey, I'm already spending all this money. I don't have anything else.
Yeah.
And this guy came to Los Angeles to do a one-day course, and I'm like, I'm going to just do it because other people told me to do, like other people in the market, like doing the deals. And I was reading his book even before his class. So yes, I'm a doer because I was reading his book. I'm like, dude, this is amazing. I can make so much money with this. Let's go.
Right.
By the time he came and we did a Sunday event, I already read the whole thing. I already kind of knew what to do. I already was looking for areas. The next day, on a Monday, I was already downloading properties in Florida, Arizona to send mail to. Didn't know how to search exactly, like the criteria, demand, inventory, things of that nature, but I just did.
Yeah.
So my first mailer was out, 1,300 letters. It costed me like $1,000 that I didn't have as well. But I got a bunch of phone calls. I got like 80 phone calls.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, so that worked. How many did you send? How many letters did you send out?
1,300.
And you got 80 phone calls.
80 phone calls.
See, in our business, that would never work.
That would not. Not even right now with the land business. It's totally different
When was this?
2019.
Yeah, right. Well, right before COVID, basically.
A year and a half before COVID, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, you sent out a bunch of letters. You're getting 80. Well, you can't take 80 phone. You took 80 phone calls?
Oh, no. So they teach you how to have a Google number. So you don't really answer the phone calls live. I don't answer the phone calls. I mean, I have virtual assistants right now that answer for me live. But before it was just like go straight to the voicemail. Only the ones that leave you a voice message, you call them back, and then you make offers, right?
Okay.
So that's what they were teaching you.
Wow.
Because you don't want it to interfere with your personal life because they do call you a lot.
So anyway, after that you did this before you went to the course, though? You did the letters before you went to the course? No.
Next day after. Oh. I read everything. I was looking for areas already. And then after the one-day event, I'm like, okay, this is how we should do it.
And now you're flipping. So this is obviously this is what you love to do, right? This is, you're Luis land coach. So what gave you the passion to do this? You know what I mean? Like you started seeing it work and you just kind of kept going with it?
So I started doing the letters. I was trying to be a realtor. So in January 2019.
So let's go back to that. You were, sorry, I'm forwarding your story basically a little bit here. So yeah, being a realtor, we're in Southern California and you're trying to be a realtor. This is before the land?
Pretty much at the same time.
The same time?
I got my license about January 2019. And I did this event on February 2019, something like that.
Same time.
Yeah. So, the next 12 months, I was trying to be a realtor.
Yeah.
I was trying to be a land investor, and I was working as a server in a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
So in hindsight, if I look back, I wish I would have focused on the land business besides being a realtor. Server, I had to do it, guys. 9 to 5 job, that was my job. I would never quit because I didn't have enough money. Land was not easy in the beginning. I was struggling. I didn't know what to do. I started making money, but I still wanted to be a realtor.
Yeah.
Because of the TV shows, because like so glamorous, I'm
Yeah.
like, I should have stopped and just like gone for the whole land business, because I was door knocking, I was sending letters, I was calling people for sell by owner, I was doing all of it, and I just wasn't getting any traction being a realtor. I got one for sell by owner listing, which I was very happy. It took me like so many open houses to sell that house. Make what I made probably like $18,000, but it was so much grind. It was
A
like
lot of work.
grinding.
Yeah.
Door knocking, guys. I did door knocking.
Door knocking, obviously, like you just said, cold calling. So what happened with real estate? You're not, I know you're still in real estate, but it's not as a realtor, but it's not as big of a passion as land. So what happened with real estate? Why didn't it progress, basically?
Because of the competition. Like if you call a seller right now, Andrew, they're not going to be ready to sell right now. They might be ready in a year, 2 years, 3 years. You have to keep that relationship. It's very time consuming. The same thing with the buyer. I know a couple people, they're like, oh, I want to buy it, but this is not the right time. So I didn't find the timing correct. So what I did with the land, it was just like, I'm going to send them a letter to 1,000 people. I get 80 to call me back. I make 80 offers. If 2 people accept those offers, I already have it.
Yeah.
I don't have to wait for that seller or buyer as a real estate agent.
Yeah.
That's what I was like, okay, this is much simple.
Yeah. Well,
And I can do way higher numbers with the land.
it was easier to scale for you, basically.
So much easier.
There's a guy online that I follow, a guy named Pace Morby. I don't know.
Yeah, I know him.
Pace said, I joined his course, and he's kind of one of my like online mentors, I guess you could call him. But he said that, you're a realtor, and a realtor is a service provider to people in real estate. He just posted something like that, and
Pacey, if you're watching us, Pacey knows about land, man. Pacey knows about me. If you're watching us, call me for the podcast.
Yeah. I love.
I like that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I love Pace. He basically said, that me and you as a realtor and as a loan officer, as a mortgage broker, I'm a service provider to people in real estate, and now you're kind of getting out of that. You're no longer a service provider. You're actually in real estate. You are the investor, and I know you're wholesaling too. So but you're a little bit more in control versus being the realtor, where you kind of have, you have clients, you have a seller or you have a buyer that you have to deal with.
And let me tell you, dealing with sellers and buyers is the worst thing ever, because you're representing them. You're not doing it for them.
Yeah.
As myself, as a lending investor, I'm representing myself.
Right.
So when I'm talking to a seller, this is how much I can offer you, Andrew. To a seller, this is how much I can offer you. When I'm talking to a buyer, this is how much I can sell the land for. There's no movements and there's no emotional connection between you and me. Hey, listen, this is how it works, and that's it. Now when we're presenting...
But land has less... there's less relationship with the piece of land than it is. Well, house, obviously, they've lived there. They have memories there. Land is just land.
You come across those people that they have a lot of emotion because they paid a lot of money for their properties, and most of them, they don't have any emotion attached to the vacant lot itself. That's why it's so easy to them to like, I will accept your offer. I just got a property in Arizona, $38,000, commercial lot, 1 acre. Mm-hmm. It's worth at least $80,000. You know why is the guy selling it to me?
It's why?
He needs to pay his tax returns.
To
the IRS. He needs to pay that money to the IRS.
Oh, okay. So how did you get this property? Like, let's just say, so I'm Luis's student now, okay? So I want to go sell land, Luis. Luis, how do I become a land flipper?
Yeah, if someone is hiring me, my full commitment is to them, to teach them, to share everything that I have on myself, because I want them to be successful. But the first thing is finding areas. And that's something that I struggled in the beginning. Like I said, I just mailed 1,300 letters, but I did not know what I was doing. Right now, I know how to find an area and how to dissect that area to know how much I can offer in order for me to make money, right? And there are areas in Florida that I don't do any letters because Florida is very competitive. So I do texting, I do ringless voicemail, I do email. That saves my cost a lot. So I would teach the student, first of all, on how to find a perfect location. Not perfect location, but how to find good locations. Multiple locations.
A lot of demand, basically.
A lot of demand, yes. All over the U.S. More sold inventory than demand. And then how to reach out to the sellers, right? How to use the scripts, how to do massively, how to use the softwares. And then once they get the person on the phone, how to connect with them, and then how to make the offer. Because I'm never making the offer at the first call. Never. Like, first is connecting. Hey, how are you? Not me personally. My assistants are there connecting with them. And I jump on calls. Like, I was calling people today and this morning before coming here. But they do the massive numbers, right? Probably have people in your database as well in your work that does that for you. So, just showing it to them that it works, it takes perseverance. It's not just like, let's make 10 offers and if it doesn't work, we give up. Yeah. No, guys. We got to make 100 offers a week. We got to make 1,000 offers a month. At least. That's the amount. So I think for someone that's trying to be a student or trying to do anything in real estate or mortgage or anything, it's massive action, Andrew. We got to send so many offers out there because most of the offers will be rejected.
Rejected or, maybe even not responded. You're sending thousands of offers?
Yes.
Like a week, a month, or...
So pretty much,
it's a lot of offers. But also, like making on a real estate transaction is I would assume it's a little bit different because making 1,000 offers in real estate, that's not that easy. Like
for houses, no. For multifamily, no.
For
land is easier, guys.
For land, as the contracts the same. Are you using the standard contract?
Contract. No. This is my contract.
It's your own person.
So when I did this course with the guy, he gave me a contract, and then I just tailored it to myself. So I had another lawyer review. I changed all the clauses. I changed everything. So I use this contract for every single state in the U.S.
Okay.
I have never used a different contract. Sometimes I add clauses, I remove. It's all tailored to whatever the seller needs. But first of all, there's no earnest money deposit in my contract.
Oh, wow. But how do you open escrow then?
You can open escrow without earnest money deposit.
A lot of
you
these
don't have to.
They want money though. Like a lot of these escrows are like, "Oh, honey, I'm not going to open it. I need a
I think
deposit."
That's the seller. That's the seller and the seller's mentality. A couple of them I do put some earnest money deposit because I like the land so much that I'm going to buy, doesn't matter what, that I want to have that buying agreement. Because sometimes a few states, they would not accept no earnest money deposit as binding agreement. But I'm putting so many properties under contract, Andrew, that if I were to put 5,000, 500, 1,000, then I would be broke just on earnest money deposit. And at the same time, my concept is like to sell the property before I have to buy. So the seller signed the contract with me. Next day, it's for sale everywhere. I do all my marketing. I teach my students like how to do it.
Wow.
I think we went all over now.
Yeah, we went a little bit all over, but so you're doing wait, you didn't answer. Sorry, how many? So 1,000 contracts and how long?
No, that's more. So like,
how long does it take you to send 1,000 or like in 1 month you could send 1,000, or is it?
No, I send more actually. I send probably between like 5,000 to 7,000 a month.
I literally didn't even know there's this many pieces of land that are for sale that you can even 5,000 to 7,000. That's
so they're not for sale, right? They're all.
Well, you're pushing the seller to sell, or you're like trying to get the seller to sell, but it's just a ton of land. And you're right, like people just have land just sitting there that sometimes it's like, what are they even doing with it, right? That's probably
they're not doing anything. They're just paying the property taxes. It's just costing them money. They're paying someone to go there once a month to cut the grass.
What do you need to cut the grass? You don't even do anything. Some of these lands are in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but some counties like in Florida, they require you to keep the land clear because of fire hazards.
Okay.
Or because it's approaching the neighbors next door.
Right.
So there's some areas that you have to follow their guidelines. Wow.
So you're doing thousands of contracts. First of all, that's wild by itself, and then So let's just say I send 1,000 offers. Has the market changed over the course of? Has COVID changed your market, by the way? Before COVID and after market, has it changed the land flipping business?
Yeah. In the beginning of COVID, it was the best. I wish I would have done more offers because people were signing left and right because they thought it would be a crash.
Yeah.
So I was making a lot of money. There's a couple areas like Naples, Florida. If you research, I made a lot of money in there, but right now I haven't gotten a deal in there for the past year and a half. Because it's too competitive. After COVID, after the news were like, oh, properties are up by 30% and 20%. When you call the sellers, they're like, no, my property's worth way more money. So it's harder to get deals right now. Actually, it was hard in 2023. 2024, again, Andrew, it's way easier right now. Sellers don't have the cash, and they need the cash.
Yeah.
So when I come along and I offer them cash, they're like, yeah, I will accept your offer.
Yeah, you know what? I was just thinking it's an easy thing for me to sell. If I had a piece of land, the economy is not doing as well as it was doing. So, these rates have been up for a while. A lot of people are starting to lose money. So if I had a piece of land and you're offering me money for it and I wasn't even expecting it, I wasn't even thinking about selling it. Yeah, I just thought about this. I'd be, Luis, I'll take whatever. I'll take 50,000, 60,000.
Yeah, crazy.
It's 60,000 that I didn't have before. So it's like, and I'm, like you said, I'm paying for the land.
Like one thing that happened, so I just did, it's called blind offer, guys. So I don't know the seller, I just know the area. So I pretty much dissect an area, and then I see okay, properties in this area, they're selling for $50,000. Mm-hmm. Let me offer 2022, and let's see how it goes, right? And then they will call me, they will accept. So this guy called me. I offered him $3,000 for one piece of land in Arizona. He called me back and said, hey, I have 6 more. Would you be interested in buying all 7? I'm like, absolutely. So I just sent him a contract today, $21,000. And I guess what's the value on those 7 vacant lots?
60,000.
60,000, worst case scenario.
Okay, but my thing is why am I giving this to you for 60 grand?
You're giving it to me for 20.
I'm sorry. Why am I giving this to you for 21,000 when I'm the seller, so I know this is worth 60. Why am I discounting this so heavily for you?
First, they don't know.
Oh, they don't know.
They don't know
Okay.
it's worth 60. They don't do the due diligence. They're not like us hustling, trying to get every single dollar in our pocket. This guy's retiring. I was talking to him earlier today.
And it's also when is the next time I'm going to find a person trying to buy all of my pieces of land?
Yes.
So it's like you find, like I was just talking about, I finally found somebody, and now you're that guy.
Yeah.
And so
I'm going to make it easy for him. I'm going to use a local title company. I'm going to pay all the fees. He's going to net that amount. And, he was just retiring, and he said, hey, I just want to sell my vacant lots. I'm tired of real estate. I think he said he's 65 years old, and I'm just talking to him.
What do you mean you're tired of real estate? It's just land. You're not doing anything with this. So it's it's not making you any money.
It's going to make him
it's going to make him
right?
money when he sells it, but keeping it is, you're not making any money keeping it. Actually, that's actually why land is very hard to finance.
Yeah.
Do you finance any of your land? Because the reason land is hard to finance where we come from is because land doesn't make money. Land just sits there, basically. Are you financing? So I know you're a land investor as well. Are you financing any of this? Or are you just cash?
Not financing with banks. No, there's
seller
no way.
Finance?
Seller finance. Yes, I do a bunch of seller finance, guys. So another revenue of my cash is from seller finance. Let's say I bought a property for $5,000 and it's worth 20, right? I then go ahead and sell it to someone else. They're going to give me $5,000 as a down payment, and then they're going to pay me monthly. So that's a new way of me selling my vacant lots. So I have probably 24 notes right now on my portfolio that people keep paying me monthly because they didn't have enough cash to buy the whole thing, but they gave me a good down payment that 80% of the time paid for my whole investment, and then they just pay me monthly. So that's how I do it. And I have been trying to buy properties with a seller finance strategy. Like, Andrew, you have a vacant lot, it's worth $100,000. Let me give you $15,000 down, pay you in payments. It's hard. They want the cash, and they would accept the discount cash, and then I just go for the cash, and I find cash with someone else, with an investor. But selling my vacant lots on seller finance, I love because, I don't have to pay the whole tax, the capital gains on the whole amount. I just pay on the money that I get that year. Yeah. And I can have that cash flow in my business.
No, that's a great way of honestly building some residual income, something that realtors don't get, and something now that you've kind of stepped away from real estate. It's actually something that I've been thinking about a lot because, again, I'm in the real estate business and I don't get any residual income. And I was just telling you, I was like, I need to figure it out because, and this is a great way to do it, kind of buying land. But I guess how's the market now? Do people want land, basically. I guess it depends on the market, but
Yeah.
I guess in general, yeah, if you want to just talk just in general and maybe specific markets or any hot states right now, yeah.
For sure. So my whole strategy is to get a property under contract for at least 60 days. And then in 60 days, I have the time to find a buyer to buy that property from me for more money. So I can try the market a lot. I can do texting, text everyone that have purchased a vacant lot nearby. I text the neighbor, I send them letters. I put it on landflip.com, land.com, Zillow, Facebook Marketplace. I put it everywhere for people to see it, right? Because before it was off market, as soon as I get the property under contract, it's for sale. I'm trying to wholesale. I'm trying to double close, assignment fee. I'm always trying markets, and sometimes you get properties that you cannot sell because the market's not as good or you offered too much money. Mm-hmm. But my whole idea, Andrew, is that if you get a property for the right price, there is going to be a buyer. It might take a little longer. I have one vacant lot right now in Arizona. I love Arizona because you can do double close and you can use the buyer's fund. So let's say I got a property under contract. Real example, $5,000. I put it for sale for $16,500. 3 weeks later, someone saw my for sale sign, and then they offered me $16,000. I then went ahead, did a contract with this buyer, gave it to escrow, and told them, hey, let's do a double escrow. I'm going to use the buyer's fund to pay the seller, and the remaining is mine. So I was able to make $9,399. I didn't touch my money. So Arizona, I love it. But there's one piece of land that I bought using my money. I paid $24,000 for it, and it's for sale for $37,000, and it's been for sale for 62 days. So I'm like, I want to sell that thing quick.
What's the plan?
What's the plan? Just drop the price. I just dropped the price today. It was for sale for $39,000. I dropped the price to $37,000.
Okay.
So I'm gonna still make money, not as much as I thought I would, and I'm offering seller finance. Hey, give me $5,000 down and pay me for 10 years.
Yeah. So and then you list them on. They're different. Like you were just talking about all those different websites. Does land go on the MLS or does it?
Yeah. So before it was easier. Everything was easier before. You could put it on Zillow for sale by owner. Right now, you cannot.
You cannot put land on Zillow.
No. You can put, but you have to pay a broker to do it. Have you seen about those brokerless MLS fee? You pay $200 and they put your... So you pay like $200. They put your listing live on every single website, Redfin, Realtor, Zillow, MLS.
Yeah.
And then you just pay the buyer's fee. So that way you can have access to everything. And you don't pay
in any state, basically.
Any state.
But this is just for land.
No, anything. If you have a house that you don't want to pay a realtor fee, you just pay this service and they put it in the MLS for you. But you're gonna be acting as your agent, right? You're gonna be getting all those calls. You're gonna be doing all the contracts yourself.
Okay.
It's just a way of saving that percentage that you would pay to the seller's agent.
Yeah, this is for our cheap clients out there that don't want to pay a listing agent. That's actually, I never heard of that. But anyway, kind of back to the land. So like I get a piece of land under contract. How often are you selling these pieces of land? What I mean by that is out of the 10 pieces of land you get under contract, do you sell all 10? Like I'm talking about wholesaling or buying them, or do you sometimes have to kind of let them go? What are the percentage that you...
Yeah, I let them go a lot actually because I'm always trying the market. I'm always offering a lot of money. And since I don't have any risk on my side, besides time is the only thing that I allow, right?
Right.
But I don't have any earnest money deposit. I would say every 10 contracts that I get signed, 2 of them I have to cancel. And 8 of them I make it work. And I have options, guys. If in 60 days I did not find the buyer, I call the seller. I always update them, right? I lower the price. I do an extension. I ask them to list the property for themselves and make a little bit of money, or I cancel. So I do one of these strategies.
Now, does the seller know you're wholesaling?
No.
So then how are you telling the seller that you're...
He doesn't need to know.
No, but you just said that you're telling... What are you telling...
Oh, after the 60 days.
Yeah,
if I cannot buy, I'm like, hey, listen, I was thinking that would be easier to build on your vacant lot, but right now it's very tough and very expensive. I cannot buy your property, but listen, I can give you that amount of money if you allow me to list the property, and if I make a few $1,000s, would you be okay with that? And some of them are okay, some of them are not. I have a couple, like 3 properties in Texas right now that I could not sell. It's a new area that I was trying to, and I couldn't sell. I could not sell, guys. I tried everything, and I called the sellers, right? 4 different sellers. One of them said, "Hey, what are you doing? You should have done your due diligence before." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. I just said you're right. Let's cancel this." And he's like, "Yeah, let's cancel." He didn't give me the opportunity to sell. The other 3, Luis, I just want to get rid of this property. Whatever you do, if you give me the amount that you told me you would give me, it's okay if you make money on it. I just did a new contract, and I added in there that I could put it on the MLS, and I could make money on it.
Yeah, so I guess you're right.
It's for sale still. So that area is not a good area.
Yeah, so it depends on the seller. You know, like everybody's personality is different. Everybody's reason for selling is different. Now, like, I kind of want to go back a little bit. Like, if I wanted to get into the land business, land flipping, land wholesaling, and even if I was one of your students, how long do you think it would take me to start doing this?
So, to start finding areas is right in the same week. It's up to you to send offers, but if you were
somebody who's hungry, somebody who's like I would say like best case scenario, and then what's your average? Like, how long would it take me on average maybe to get one deal under contract? And then what's like the best case? Like, this guy's killer. What do you think?
First thing is, are you afraid of rejection?
Okay. No.
Okay.
Not afraid.
So that's a good thing, because
I get rejected daily.
I had students that were afraid of rejection, and they just stopped doing it. They did like 5 offers, 3 offers, and they just didn't do it anymore because they were afraid of being on the phone with the seller. So it's not for them, absolutely. But if you are one that's going to be doing what I require, because for my students, I require them to reach out to at least 2,000 sellers a month. So 2,000 sellers, let's say 100 got back to you.
When you say reaching out, is that
just texting, voicemail? It doesn't mean that they're going to reply back. Anything.
Anything, okay.
But let's say 50 got back to you, which I think is very reasonable. 50 people would get back to you. So 50 offers you have in your hand. So if you do 50 offers a month, I kid you not, in 2.5 months, you're going to have 1 accepted offer. And then in another 2.5 months, you will sell that property to someone else. And in the meantime, you're prospecting, you're going for more sellers, you're going for more offers, so you can have more, because you cannot stop sending offers.
So it's 5 months.
5 to 6 months.
5 to 6 months.
I guarantee you. Yeah.
And
if you're sending offers.
So a success. Well, what is? I mean, let's talk the money, man. Let's talk the money game. Yeah, like what's a successful person in your business make? Basically, like a land flipper. What does a successful land flipper makes? Obviously, we're not flipping $4 or $5 million pieces of land. Usually, you're selling.
No, I'm doing under $100,000, guys. I'm buying these lots for $10,000, selling it for $25,000, buying for $5,000, selling it for $16,000, buying for $1,000, selling for $5,000.
So yeah, so. How many can you do a month? Which would basically let us know how many you could do. Yeah.
Myself right now, because I have the system, I have the assistants, I do between 7 to 9 deals a month. And the average profit is between $6,000 to $8,000. It depends on the property, depends on the location. But, like just this month, I did one in Florida that took me 3 hours of my day. I'm not joking. I downloaded this area. I sent my assistants to skip trace. They called, they emailed and everything else. They got one seller calling back, and he had 2 vacant lots in Florida. We made an offer, and he accepted. It was about $24,000. Right away after the property's signed, we hire photographers. They go out there. They put for sale sign for us.
Oh, so that's how you do it.
Yeah.
You get it. So you get the photographer to put like a real
for sale sign. Yeah. Okay. And the neighbor called me. Like not even an hour after the girl put it for sale signs, because they're watching.
Yeah.
Those owners, they're watching, and he's like, "Hey, how much you're selling the property for?" And a huge accent. I'm like, $52,000.
Texas?
Florida.
Florida.
Yeah,
okay.
I think he was from Texas. It was a different accent. I said $52,000, and he offered me $45,000 on the spot.
Cash.
5-minute phone call, $45,000. I got it for $24,000, right?
That's a lot of money.
I was already making good money. So I was like, hey, listen, let me think about it. I'll get back to you. I never give them an answer right away. I called him next day or 2 days after, and I said, hey, listen, I'll meet you halfway, $47,500. Deal.
He said, yeah.
Deal. 2.5 weeks later, I closed the deal and I made $21,000.
Wow.
That was quick. That was amazing.
Yeah, that's that's best case scenario. Basically.
Best case scenario, yeah.
Yeah,
But imagine if you are a student and you're doing something like that, or imagine if you're even buying one vacant lot for $1,000 and you're selling for $5,000, where you made $4,000.
Right. I mean, it's huge,
Right?
huge win, huge win.
So I never know how much I'm gonna make. I'm just trying so many markets. I'm sending so many offers that if the seller comes back to me, I need another $2,000. I need another $1,000. I'm like, can I make it work? Instead of making $5,000, now I'm gonna make $3,000.
So you don't have a method of how much you want to make. You don't.
No.
Oh, okay. So you just kind of measure the market, basically.
Measure the market and send tons of offers, and when they get back to you, if they want a little bit more money, you're like, all right, should I try this? Because I'm trying, right?
Yeah.
I can't sell all my vacant lots, but it's a good idea, and there's just a ton of sellers out there. My job is to talk to them. My job is to make the offers. That's what I do.
Yeah. Wow. So your method is, like you said, ton of offers. You're casting a big net to try to get the fish.
Yeah.
Basically, but you also have a team. You were just talking about your team.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your team. How did you develop this team, and did you have to train them? Where did you find them? Things like that. Yeah.
I train them daily. It's a daily grind. If you look at my phone, there's like texts from them right here on Skype. This seller wants more money. How do I do it? They know what to do on a daily basis. But I started with I started with different companies in the Philippines that they would call the sellers for me. They would reach out, but I found that they were not as effective. Then 3 years ago, I'm like, hey, this is time to hire someone.
Yeah.
I found someone in the U.S. I did on Indeed, and I liked one person. I hired her, but she was not reliable, so I let her go.
That's the U.S., man. I'm telling you. Anyway, go ahead.
She was making good money. Don't get me wrong, And then I found another one in the U.S., and she's my main employee. She's in Miami, Florida. I have never seen her in person. She's been working for me for a year and a half. Like last year, she made $30,000 working part-time.
Yeah.
Right? And then I was using this company in the Philippines, and they were not paying their employees.
You pay them, and they're not paying them.
Yes. And the employees came to me. I'm like, hey, let's do something. You work straight from me, and I'll make sure you get your money.
Right.
And that's what happened. So I hired one, and then I hired two, and then I hired three, and then I hired fourth.
And they're all like friends of each other, maybe, or something?
Yeah. So 4 employees from the Philippines. 3 of them are in the land business. One of them is for my social media, and another one from Miami. So I have 5 virtual assistants. They have to have good English, because 2 of them are on the phone, like with the sellers. So very good English guys. They follow my script and everything else, and I train them on a daily basis, weekly basis. They're always talking to me on Skype because I'm always available during our time, like during 9 to 5 kind of.
Yeah, U.S. time, because they're overseas. Yeah.
But they know what to do. They absolutely know what to do. If there's something they need me right away, they call me. And it's just like try and error, because I burned to a lot of other people that did not do their job very well.
When do you step in? You said you have these VAs calling sellers. So when do you decide to step in?
Once they're almost ready to sign, but they're not ready yet. They don't trust them as much as me.
Yeah.
But a lot of them, they just trust them, and they just like signed agreements without even me introducing myself.
Yeah.
So it's just like that tough seller. Then like they tell me, Luis, this guy's interested in selling. You should call him.
Yeah.
And
you don't need any licensing for this, huh?
No license at all.
Yeah, you don't need anything. Because you're just buying land.
Buying for myself.
You're just buying land.
Selling for myself.
I guess you don't really need any license here, because you're not really. I know that wholesaling in general, I know for regular real estate, some states are starting to make you pretty much have your real estate license if you do want to wholesale. I don't know what states those are. Illinois comes to mind, but I don't know for a fact.
I don't think Illinois, because I just downloaded an area in Illinois.
Yeah, there's some states are making you basically go
Oklahoma, maybe.
I don't know. Actually, I bought property in Oklahoma. I don't know. I'm not sure about that, but I was gonna. You don't know, huh? Because
I
I
don't.
don't know if wholesaling land is similar to wholesaling. I don't know if they
I think is if you
separate
wholesale
it.
more than 1 or 5 properties a year, they will catch you. But I don't know.
Okay, okay. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about. I don't know if you know a lot about it, but it's something called entitlement, which
Mm.
is what the land is kind of used for. So when you're looking at land, do you look for any special purpose for the land that you could basically market? Like, I don't know, like this land is good for a gas station or a hotel. It's like hospitality, or do you even and you because you're wholesaling, you don't have any time to get permits and stuff like that. But I'm talking about maybe even after. But anyway, I want to talk about. Sorry, I'm asking too many things right now. But in the beginning, when you're looking for land, do you look for any land that is entitled a certain way?
Not really. No, I don't look for anything like that. First of all, when I'm downloading areas, I do the minimal possible work. Only when the seller calls me back, that's when I dissect the area a little bit just to make an offer. And even then, I don't know anything about the market. Once they accept an offer, that's when I'm like, okay, I need to know more about this. Why are the vacant lots selling in here? Zoning, entitlements, and everything else. But
Yeah,
I do the minimum amount of work before a seller signed the agreement. But I don't really care, to be honest with you,
yeah,
to
that's
the
not something.
entitlements.
Okay,
No, because I
it
did
doesn't matter
residential,
basically.
industrial, commercial. I have done all of them. But the best one, in my opinion, is residential because there's more buyers out there,
Yeah.
Andrew. And I have one project right now in Fairplay, Colorado. I bought 1 acre. I'm subdividing into 4 parcels.
Okay.
I'm making a 6-figure income, and I'm keeping one for myself.
Wow. Wait. Well, let's talk about this. Wait. 1 acre in Colorado. You're subdividing it to six different
Four.
parcels. Four different
It's a
parcels.
minor subdivision, so it doesn't require me to do a lot of work. It's like the minimum amount of work.
So What are you gonna do with the other three? You're gonna just sell them?
I'm gonna sell them,
Oh, okay.
and
And what are you gonna do with the one that you have? The one
I'm
that
gonna
you're
keep it. I'm gonna keep it forever. I don't know.
You're
Maybe I'll
just,
do a Starbucks there in the future. I don't know. I'm gonna keep it.
you're still kind of deciding on what
Yeah,
you're gonna do.
but I'm not gonna sell that one because that one side of the street, it's not developed yet. So once they develop that side of the street, the value is gonna go even higher. But the whole idea is, I text sellers, and this guy came back to me, talked to my assistant, not to me personally, saying that he needed to sell the vacant lot. Family members, people were making offers to him about $38,000. When I saw the vacant lot, because they told me, hey, this guy wants to sell, call him,
Yeah.
right? There are a couple vacant lots that I need to know right away. And I'm like, okay, I love this vacant lot.
Yeah.
The appraised value, it's $200,000. I'm not kidding. And he said on the phone to my assistant that he got offered for 42. I'm like, how can I make it work inside my mind? I'm like, let me offer him $48,000 because it's going to be the highest offer for him. And I called him, connect. I'm like, hey, I'll give you $48,000. Let me think about it, Luis. 30 minutes later, he was like, I talked to my family. We can do 52. I'm like, 52 it is. It's assessed at $200,000.
So where did you get the assessment though?
Assessed value at the county level.
Oh, at the county level.
So it's 1 acre. One
Wow.
property that I was sold at 7,000 square feet vacant lot was sold for $89,000.
Wow.
So I'm subdividing. 3 parcels are going to be about 7,000 square feet.
Uh-huh.
I'm ranging that they're going to sell in the worst case scenario for $70,000 each. And the remaining, which is $20,000, 20,000 square feet, it's going to be mine because one side of the street's not developed yet. Once they develop that side of the street, it's going to be worth way more.
Right.
So it's not in my favor to sell it right now. There's road frontage, there's water, there's electricity, there's everything on the street.
Oh yeah, you're just like you said, you're just waiting for the area to kind of develop, and that property is going to go sky
I just sent the documents to the county yesterday to start the subdivision, and it's only going to cost me about $8,000. with land surveyor, all the
$8,000.
fees, $8,000. So I'm gonna be up to the work for $60,000.
This is still work though. This subdividing land. You have to learn how to do this. So
Yeah.
You just
A lot of hours.
You just learned how to do it.
I just called them.
Oh yeah.
I just called them with a bunch of questions.
Oh okay.
Like
I
a
mean,
bunch
that
of
works
questions.
too. Yeah.
I did meetings with the city, with the county, just to know. So how many hours do I have in this project? 25 hours.
Another thing is, just speaking of hours, man, you work a lot. At least it looks like you work a lot.
It looks like.
Yeah, it looks like I'm following you on Instagram, and you post a lot, and I love the way you post, and I love how you post frequently and things like that. But what's your life like, man? You seem to work a lot, because I mean, a lot of people listening to this, and a lot of people in general, they're looking to like. I hate to say this, but like I guess find a work-life balance or kind of work less, make more. So how many hours do you work? What's your life like, basically?
I don't work a lot of hours, guys. I show that I work, but no. I primarily in the morning when my son goes to school, I get in my computer. I work for 3 or 4 hours. I go to the gym. I come back and I work another 3 hours. But I'm always on my phone, checking my employees. I'm always looking at new areas. Over the weekend, I don't work at all.
But you're up at like 4 a.m. What are you doing at 4 a.m.?
Because sometimes when I have to go to the racetrack with my son because he drives go-karts, I just wake up
that's cool.
before and I'm like, I can't sleep because I'm so anxious to go to the racetrack. What am I gonna do? I jump in my computer.
Oh, that's what you're doing out in where were you, Riverside?
Riverside, yeah.
Oh, he races go-karts?
He races go-karts.
Oh, that's cool. How old's your son?
6.
And he's racing go-karts already. Yeah. This kid is...
Yeah.
I got a 5-year-old. I don't think...
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, I don't know if he can race go-karts, man. He's barely learning how to ride a bike right now. I don't know about racing go-karts. But
it's fun.
I'm sure it is. Anyway, Luis, what's right now is the biggest challenge in the land flipping business that you're having right now? Or do you have any challenges at all that are in your business right now?
Oh, yeah. A big challenge is there's too many areas for one person to do.
So there's a lot of business out there is what you're saying.
There's so many states. There's so many areas. If you look at Zillow, there's so many properties being sold every single month. That's just, I can't do it myself. I really can't. I have a tab in my computer where it's like new areas to invest. But there's just so many areas in there that I can't go after all of them.
I know I'm it's a little selfish, but instead of doing coaching, why don't you build your team to be bigger so you can do more deals? Because coaching, I get it. You're doing a good deed. You're teaching people how to do what you do. You're teaching people how to make money, which is a beautiful thing. But, this world is an evil place. You want to earn the money. I know. You know what I mean? So why aren't you focused on building your own team? Or is that something,
Maybe I should.
Yeah, maybe you should.
But, it's the same mentality that my wife had once. Uh-huh. She's like, you have all this knowledge. You're making this money. Why don't you just do it yourself and be quiet? Right?
Right.
But listen, I taught some people. I learned from someone. I cannot multiply myself by 5 or 10 times. And I like teaching other people. I like to see them make money, And Andrew, there's just too many areas in the U.S. for one person to do it alone.
That's what I'm saying. So build the team and you have
it's
25,
like
30 people now.
You're going to get a huge headache because, it's just like conglomerous, on how much you have to teach other people. So I'd rather teach someone and they go on their own, they make money and I make a little bit money with them than just doing it on myself. Because it is simple, but it's not easy. And if I were to do 25 people employee, I have to do a lot of my time. Like a lot of it, because it's hands-on. Don't get me wrong. I do the hours. I have them doing at least 20 hours a day for between these 4 employees on the land business. But there are certain things that just myself can do it. Mm-hmm. So, I guess I can do it, but it would be, I like the balance.
Yeah.
I love the balance, man.
Yeah, I get it.
I would be working nonstop, and it's draining, because you're gonna make offers after offers after offers. You're gonna analyze one market, analyze another market. You gotta see this property because it's a little bit different.
Basically, what you would do is you would have
teach someone to do that.
Pretty much. But no, you would have basically these VAs would have teams. So you would have a team leader, a VA team leader, and then you would have people under them. And then those team leaders. So then instead of having, right now you said you have what, 4 or 5 employees? Four or five. No, those are 4 or 5 team leaders, and they have 4 or 5 under them.
Right.
And
that could be something, yeah.
There you go.
That I can work
Little
on.
light bulb.
But it's very hard to teach people like.
But you said they're already getting them under contract for you. Sometimes, not all the time. And obviously, they're going to get better the more that they do it. And then you only step in the major cases.
Yeah, but I step in to see how much a property is worth. They don't know how to do that yet.
Yeah. Well, again, that's a skill that can be taught, though.
Yeah, you can.
Just how
that's what I teach my students, yeah.
That's how you taught. I mean, you learned it. Anybody can
But
learn
I
it.
do like the teaching, though. I do like to, get together with someone they're like in the same situation.
Well, it's a beautiful
as me.
thing, though. Teaching is a wonderful thing, yeah.
I love it, actually.
Yeah,
I really do.
That's a great
I have
thing,
been
too.
thinking about teaching people for the past 3 years, Andrew, but I just didn't know on what. And I was just like, listen. And I was scared to teach other people about the land because I was like, if I teach them, my deals are going to go away.
You thought that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. What changed your mind, basically?
Looking at these many areas, I'm like, I can't do it myself.
You can't.
Even the
There's
same
so
area.
much business out there for any business.
Yeah.
Even my business. Like, yeah, so anyway.
And there's students that come and they find the area where I'm investing and they ask, is that okay, Luis? I'm like, absolutely, dude. Go them. Go show these sellers that how much they think the property's worth is not that amount. It's worth how much we're asking. And if I call a seller and you call a seller, maybe you're going to get the deal for the same amount of price because maybe your connection was a little bit different.
Yeah.
So I'm not scared of doing that.
That's
but
awesome.
yeah, I'm growing my business right now too, but it's a lot of time demanding on teaching people. So yeah, that's the main thing.
So, Luis, I got a question for you. If Luis was not Luis, the land coach, or you weren't Luis in land, where do we see Luis? Where would Luis be today if you weren't? Is there any other things that you wanted
At the beach, at the gym.
There's no, what other profession, I would say?
Oh, I see. Man, I always wanted to be an actor. Back in Brazil and like.
I mean, you have like the look for it. So
thanks,
yeah.
man. I think if I had the money and I was like, I would try. I don't know if I want to try being acting again. It's so tough.
Acting is a lot.
But I would love to.
A lot of actors are broke, and they're
them.
like going from job to job looking for work. Actors, models, it's kind of like the same kind of field. But so yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, you'd be an actor, basically.
Yeah, I used to be a model. I was in Mexico modeling.
Well, that's what you were doing?
Yeah.
What were you modeling for?
Like just an agency, and then you do a couple of jobs for them, like catwalk. I did in China.
Oh, yeah, you're pretty
so
tall.
I lived
You're tall
in
too.
Shanghai,
so yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
South Korea, Thailand.
You lived in all these places?
All these places as a model.
Oh, wow. So, okay. So
it was tough.
Yeah, so you went from Brazil to Shanghai.
To China.
Oh, okay. So you
Asia.
really didn't come here right away.
No.
Oh, you were traveling the world.
Hong Kong.
So why didn't you end up in China then?
The modeling career is very tough, and you don't make as much money.
Yeah, I mean only the top people.
Top people, yeah.
And plus you're a guy.
Plus you don't have control. Remember when we talk about control, being a realtor, you don't have control?
Yes.
I have control as a land investor because I'm sending tons of offers, and like it doesn't matter if you don't accept. There's always the next person.
Right.
With modeling, it's the same thing. They're looking at you and another 100 guys. They all look the same.
Yeah.
So it's not up to me.
All right. Anyway,
that's why I'm like, fuck, I can't do this.
Anyway, Luis, you taught us a lot about land, but there was, another thing I wanted to ask, kind of before we end it, is, what's next for Luis? What does the future look like for Luis in the next, 3 to 5 years? Are you going to continue on this land path? Are you going to start developing? Are you going to get into development? Because I know you're now subdividing. It's the beginning of development.
Right.
So, what's next?
I don't think I'm going to be developing. I thought I would last year. If you were to ask me that question last year, I was like, yeah, I did a USC Ross alumni program on how to develop vacant lots.
Uh-huh.
But it's just another skill set that I don't have and I don't think I want to acquire because you have to manage a lot of people.
Yeah.
Contractors, I don't like that. When I do my subdivisions, I just have to hire professionals and it's just usually a land surveyor, maybe someone to build the roads, maybe the county appraisal. It's just minimal work again.
Yeah.
And you make a ton of money. So I don't think I'm going to be doing something like that.
Yeah.
I rather keep doing the subdivisions. I'm working in Texas right now with huge plots of land, 200 acres. I was just texting a seller right now. I sent him an offer, $1 million.
Yeah.
I don't have $1 million, but I have an investor that he does have the money, and he looked at my deal and he said, yes, I will put the $1 million to work for us.
Yeah.
What we have to do, we have to subdivide. We have to create 5, 10, 20 acres, and then we have to create roads, and then we sell them off. But I'm not going to build anything in these vacant lots. I'm going to give it to the buyer. The buyer does whatever he wants to do. So I think that's the next step for me, to go for big acreages and to subdivide and make more money and get that seller finance on a longer term. But still, I'm never going to stop, Andrew, these little tiny lots, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, because they're my bread and butter and they help me on my daily business, and they're easy to flip. You just need a couple hours. Like this guy, I sent 4,000 offers, right? And this guy in Arizona called me because of
4,000
offers. Arizona, Nevada, and Colorado. All blind offers. I just know the area. I know average law. And that he called me back.
Yeah.
And because of my letter, because he didn't get any other investors that were interested, I guess, in all 7, And
these letters, are they handwritten letters or like semi-handwritten? Like, I've seen letters, they're like fake.
I did that.
They're like printed, but they
cost you more money and was not worth it.
But they look like their hand. Oh, is
the envelope, yes, it looks like it's handwritten. The envelope, I paid a little bit more money on that, but it's not. And one thing that I haven't talked to you guys is like there's 4 ways of reaching out to sellers. Okay. Letters, email, texting, and call. I do all of them. There's like absolutely
knocking on door. Or there's no door because it's land.
Right? There's no knocking.
Yeah, you can't find.
And there's no social media. These people are not on social media, guys.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, they're not.
The buyers, yes, the buyers are looking for land. That's why they reach out to you.
On social media or on social media. All these websites and things
but
like that.
the sellers, they have the property and they just don't know what to do. I come along and I offer them money. It's just a matter of like how much money do they want.
Yeah. Well, damn, Luis, you taught us. This was a land master class by Luis, the land coach. Man, you're kind of like a rags to riches story. I know maybe you're not like rich. I don't know how rich you are, but you're doing better than most people. I could tell you that. So
I mean, I'm getting better and better by the day.
You don't have to be a server anymore.
No, I quit my job 8 months after I started doing land full time.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it took you 8 months.
8 months.
And you were like, damn, I'm starting to actually make money where I don't. Yeah. I can do this.
I can do this.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was a struggle, guys. Maybe I should have waited another 3 months.
How long did it take you to pay back that $18,000?
12 months.
12 months.
So it paid off.
That's still pretty good, man. It's.
So but that was not the most expensive thing that I have ever bought as a student. I did this course. I'm still doing it. This one was expensive, guys, and I'm like, I'm mad at myself that I paid so much money. It was $35,000 for this guy to teach me more about seller finance deals, how to make notes, how to buy it, how to do different clauses. So that one.
Can you say who it is or?
Yeah, Eddie Speed. He's located in Texas.
Why don't you do Pace's course?
Yeah, I should have done Pace's. I didn't know about him. So, again, a mistake on my end.
Pace is the king of sub 2, and I would have gotten the sub 2. Was not for land though.
Sub 2 is different. It's not for land at all.
Yeah, it's not for land.
This guy teaches it too, but I just think I paid too much money for the information that I have, or maybe I'm not doing enough work.
It has to be more than that, man. That's a lot of money. I mean, it's just, and I never heard of this guy. So, I don't know. I can't say anything about it.
He's the kind of like the guy that knows about notes. Very knowledgeable guy.
Look, my thing with notes, your escrow will make a note for you.
Yeah.
And like notes are like, I don't know.
But how to negotiate the note. That's the thing, right? How to negotiate with the seller and how to add a few clauses in there that are going to be like advantage to you if he wants to sell early or some things like that.
I mean, you could have hired a lawyer that does this. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. But you're still in the course, right?
I'm still in the course. I have another 7 months to go, 9 months.
This is virtual?
Yeah, virtual. He does have a lot of content. He does post every single week. He's live 3 days a week, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
So then are you gonna get into note? Are you gonna buy and sell notes?
I'm trying to.
Yeah, that's another business.
That's another business, yeah.
About buying and selling notes, basically. Yeah, it's not a bad business. I also looked into it, but it's we'll have you once you're a professional note buyer and seller. We're gonna have you back, and we're gonna start. We're gonna do the whole note training class for the audience. But
if someone is interested in learning more about the vacant land, I'm working on my program right now because since I do a one-on-one coaching, Andrew, it's very expensive. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's less expensive than other investors, but it's a lot of my time invested on someone. And I'm telling you about the deals. I make good money. I don't put a lot of time. So I charge a lot. So right now I'm working on a program where you're going to have the things on demand like Payc, like everyone does it. And you just buy it, maybe like $1,500, $2,000. And then you have access to all the videos where I'm teaching you how to do this. And then if you want a mentorship, we're going to do like a live 2-week call with all my students. And it's just going to be a monthly subscription that you have to pay. So that will lower your cost. Because right now, I have a couple of students, and it's just like, as much as I make good money, it's a lot on me.
And it's your responsibility to make sure they're successful too. I feel like, at least, to
it
make sure
is.
that they get their money's worth.
And I feel like, hey, it's up to you, but I'm gonna guide you. If you don't do your work, I can't do anything.
Right.
Go back to the things. Making offers, getting rejected, learning from your failures. But what I'm teaching them is how to avoid costly mistakes of going to areas where there's not enough people buying vacant land.
Right.
I've done that multiple times. Spent thousands of dollars with advertising, and I just couldn't get the properties couldn't sell the properties
because nobody wants anything.
Nobody wants, but I didn't know.
I mean, I would assume you're buying things close to major metropolitan areas, at least in the suburbs a little bit.
Like 45 1 hour away.
Yeah, nothing like...
But there's some areas that you go out in the desert, nowhere, that you can still make money, good money.
Yeah, and that's something that you would teach, basically, in your course. Cool, man. Well, anyway, Luis, we covered a lot. I don't know, if there's anything else that we haven't covered? I mean, I would love to, keep talking to you if there isn't.
There's one more thing.
Oh, go ahead.
So, the whole methodology is to the one that I teach. It's very different from other people. It's wholesaling the land before you have to buy it.
Right.
So pretty much we reduce the risk to zero. We find the buyer. And if we don't have the buyer and we don't have the funds, we use other people's money. It's easy to find money if the deal is right. So my whole strategy, because when I started, I didn't have enough money. This guy taught me how to wholesale and how to use someone else's money. Mm-hmm. So that's what I still do. I love that. When I go to get a deal, I'm thinking inside my mind, I'm broke. Because if I think I have enough money in my bank account to pay for that deal, I'm going to offer more. I'm going to do a different 30, 25 days escrow,
Right.
I'm thinking I don't have anything in my bank account, and I'm going to collect that check once I sell this property, So that's what I'm trying to teach people. If you don't have money, don't get discouraged. Of course, you have to pay for education. Find that money somewhere. Yes. That's something that you have to do. I can't do anything for you.
Invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself. But once you have a property under contract, if you have the right price, money will come. And I can help you find that money.
Yeah. So I guess, if you guys are wholesaling land, if you guys even have a piece of land, I'm sure you have a ton of buyers out there. Luis can help you.
I can share with you a strategist too, how to find the buyer before you have to buy, right? Yeah.
Share right now?
Share right now. Dude, hire photographers, put for sale signs, put it on Facebook Marketplace, do a nice description, call and text all the people that have purchased properties nearby in the last 12 months. What else? Landflip.com, land.com,
right.
Zillow.
Yeah, there's a ton.
Call agents,
Call agents in the area.
Offer them and tell them that you're going to give them a piece of the deal.
Well, where can people find you online?
I think my main social media is Instagram, Luis Land Coach, but I have TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and all of that is managed by my social media girl. I don't spend time on TikTok at all.
Okay.
I think it's like, it's not my thing. But yeah, they can find me in there.
But you're the one on. That's your Instagram. You actually respond to your DMs.
Yeah, I respond my DMs on Instagram.
Yeah. Okay.
Not on the other ones, pretty much.
Well, anyway, Luis, I appreciate your time, guys. Or I appreciate your time, Luis. Guys, Luis Melo, land coach. Find him on Instagram. DM him if you want to know anything about buying and selling land. And like we just talked about, he's starting his course pretty soon, right? So anybody?
Yeah, like in a month, guys. It's my goal to have it done, because, like I said, it's simple. It's very simple how to flip vacant lots. And I give my documents away too.
You make it sound simple.
It's simple, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. The methodology, the thinking is very simple. And I give my students all the documents: the purchase agreement, the sales agreement, because there's 2 different ones, the neutral letter, the blind offer, the script, and everything. Yeah. I give them.
So if you guys really want to do it, obviously, but that's the main thing that if you want to do something, you will do it. So if you guys want to get into this or buy and sell and flip land, Luis is the guy. He's here in the Southern California area, but obviously he's virtual everywhere and across the world, actually, at this point.
We didn't talk about how nice it is to flip a vacant lot, because there's no termite, there's no general inspection.
Oh, yeah.
There's no roof, there's nothing. It's pretty much, like a couple areas where you have to do a wetland report, but a boundary survey, but pretty much all my vacant lots.
Minor stuff. Like,
super minor.
Because nothing is deteriorated. It's just land and dirt.
But when to explain that to the buyer is easy. Like, there's some buyers, hey, I need 30 days to close on this property. I'm like, no, you don't.
There's nothing. What are you going to do?
There's nothing. But when I'm telling the sellers, it's another story. Yeah. Hey, I need to know a lot of things before I buy this vacant lot, so I need 60 days. But virtually, I'm doing it from my house. My assistants are called the county, the city, electricity company, and I don't have to see the properties in person. In my whole career, 5 years, I probably saw 7 vacant lots.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to, not because I needed.
Yeah, man. So it's something you could do from the comfort of your home, or the comfort of your office, wherever you work, and you can do it all throughout the United States. You don't have to be licensed. You don't have to have any formal education. You just need to hustle, and you need to really want to do this, basically. Just like I was just talking about, just like anything else in the world that you really want. If you want to do it, you can do it, and you can make multiple 6 figures a year, if not millions, depending on the kind of deals. Especially when you start subdividing land and you said building roads and things like that.
Yeah,
you're gonna start talking big boy money.
Big boy money. This Texas, I'm waiting for the seller to sign that contract. It's 200 acres.
Yeah, you're gonna be making 6 figures on a deal there.
7 figures.
7 figures.
We're gonna double our money. Worst case scenario, we're doubling our money.
So you're buying,
buying for $1 million, selling
for 2.
For 2, but different buyers, different strategy. You do notes. You have to do a bunch of things, because most people don't have that cash available to buy the acres when you subdivide them, but they have the money to pay you monthly. And then you have to create the note, sell the note.
Also, because land doesn't make money, so it's hard for me to give you that much money, because I need it to build on the land. Yes. Or I need it to so I want to do seller finance on the land so I can save my money to build, like I said. And then once I'm done with the project, I'll send it to an end buyer. Then I'll pay you back all your money.
Yeah, you're so correct, Andrew.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of what happens. Eventually, I want to get into other stuff like that. It's a very interesting conversation. Maybe I'll be one of your buyers on one of your subdivided land. I would love to eventually get into development. It's something that I'm still learning and trying to get into, and trying to expand my skill set and my knowledge into that. But again, man, we keep going. But I appreciate it, Luis. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you coming in. And again, guys, Luis, land coach, and this is episode 19 of the Realer State of Mind podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys.